Hi, and welcome back to Mentally Yours, a podcast presented by Mehfooz by Simran, co-presented by EDUTHON. And we finally have the man behind it all today, Mr. Ankur Malhotra, the founder of TRINITi and the force behind EDUTHON. With over 2 decades in the education space, he has pioneered campus placement trainings, authored a book with McGraw-Hill, and curated powerful events which connect students, leaders, and educators. His flagship event, EDUTHON, is now stepping into its 5th edition and making its way toward India Book of Records. So let's begin without any further ado. So how are you doing today, sir?
Doing very well, Simran. It has been quite an hectic day, but I was looking forward to this podcast.
For sure, EDUTHON is around the corner.
Absolutely.
And I can assume how hectic it would be, and thank you for taking time out for this specifically. It's almost evening and sir has still agreed to come. So thank you so much, sir, for this.
The pleasure is all mine, and absolutely looking forward to this amazing conversation with you as always.
So before we really begin with the hardcore conversation, how is the preparations going on?
Yeah, so that's a very, very relevant question. Yeah, it's been the last 10 days have been really, really crazy. It's like inviting 650 edu leaders from all across the country and some other parts of the globe. It's quite a humongous exercise which we have just started. Then to integrate it with our online system of registrations and then calling all the panel speakers, the celebrities, also raising sponsorships at the same time, doing the marketing. So it's quite a humongous exercise, and yeah, we have a good team though, and you are part of our team. So
it's a pleasure, sir, and I think it's something to be noted that 650 leaders from around the world, not even from the country, but from the world. That is one big achievement, I would say, and we have come a long way.
Absolutely. In fact, we started when EDUTHON started 3.5 years back. It was just about 50 people in a small room in Satluj Hall in the Hyatt, and there were only 9 speakers, 2 small panels, and it was over in a very short time. And from there and today, when I see the scale, it's unbelievable that we have been able to manage this thing in such a short span of time. I mean, you can do this and other people probably also do it, but in a span of 7, 8, 10 years. But to do it in 3 years was, I mean, I am very proud of my team also, and the people who have supported me and all the people around. And so this is like an impossible achievement, but we feel very proud of it. Yeah.
Really, really looking forward to this, and I can't wait. Wherever we go to shoot podcasts, all of us have this zeal and energy towards EDUTHON, saying that we are really looking forward to this.
Yeah.
And while I was thinking about EDUTHON and TRINITi, I realized that you come from an engineering background, right?
Right.
And moving towards management or curating events, how did this shift almost happen?
Yeah, so engineering, yes, you're right. I have done my engineering from Punjab Engineering College, and I worked with Tata Group for 2 years, then did my MBA, and then I worked for 2 years again in the field of MBA coaching, and then I decided to set up this company. So so basically, yes, even during my engineering days, I was very fond of events and leading forums, and I was part of so many committees in my college, whether it is speakers committee or the literary committee or this or that. So probably it was there right from the beginning. I was never a guy who was meant for hardcore engineering. So I think over the period of time I shifted, and I realized that this is my forte, organizing things and creating and special events, niche events so called. And so probably that is how life has unfolded for me.
Very beautifully, I would say. And it made me realize how you were telling me that you did a few jobs in the engineering background itself, but then how did this idea came to you to start TRINITi? And I'm really intrigued to know the meaning of TRINITi itself.
Yeah, so Correct. So basically, while I was doing my MBA, a lot of people told me that Ankur, you are very good at teaching people. You know, I used to teach finance to some of my colleagues, my classmates. So that is when the idea came to me that I should start up a coaching institute, and I actually started TRINITi as a coaching institute, and we
Oh,
used to coach students for MBA, and later on we developed coaching for soft skills, and where we were the market leaders for almost 10 years. We did campus placement coaching for all the engineering colleges. So that was our forte for almost 10 years. So that is the background where TRINITi has evolved, and eventually then we landed in the school space, and then we started doing TEDx events, literary festivals, and finally we ended up with EDUTHON.
it's on. And how did you were telling that you navigated your path from coaching towards education, but why only education? The events could be of other, other setups as well. Maybe marketing events, some other kind of events, social media related events. Why only education? Because I believe it's a very, I don't know, a space where you need to do a lot of hard work to achieve something.
Yeah, so that's again a very good question, interesting question. Very few people have asked me this question before. And the answer to this is that I come from a family of educators. My mother was a lecturer in MCM college. My Masi was a principal in a college in Jalandhar. And so many in my family have been educators. So maybe it stems from that I always wanted that though I want to be an entrepreneur, but I would like to be an entrepreneur only in the education space. Because I believe that my forte was education. And whether it is mathematics, English, coaching, whatever. So I had an idea that even if I evolve as an entrepreneur, the education space will be the main space where I will like to be. Because I truly understand the space, I can understand what the things are, what the dynamics are. So I believe you should be an entrepreneur in a space where you actually understand.
Absolutely, that's brilliant. I mean, you utilized your skills from everywhere.
Correct.
And you built something beautiful with your own set of skills, not adjusting, not acquiring something else, but creating something with whatever resources you already had, and it has turned out to be really good, I would say.
I think you have taken the words from my mouth, because these things are actually true when very few people actually go into that kind of research which you have done on me, that actually this is the truth, that the things which have evolved from my background, from my skill set, from my MBA background, and putting all them together in a certain way which can be a kind of useful piece, not only for me, but also all those people who are surrounding me. So it kind of builds up,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you started TRINITi, but I think when you started EDUTHON 3 years back, I don't think a lot of people were thinking beyond normal education setup. But you thought of, bringing all the school leaders together so that they can, make something good out of it. How did this idea came by?
Yeah, again, a very interesting thing, because when we entered into the school space, we were doing mostly TEDx events and single speaker events and these kind of things, literary stuff. And then there's a friend of mine who's also my ex-student, Samir Sharma. He gave me an idea that, sir, you have this uncanny skill of getting together people from diverse backgrounds, whether it is a podcast person or a school leader or a principal or an educator or maybe an AI person. And why don't you do a conclave? That is how the idea germinated in me. This is something that could be my future business possibility. And then we started off, and actually it turned out to be the right decision. So that is how the idea was given to me by somebody else who knew me very closely, who could figure out that these are the strengths and this is how a possibility can arise. So that's how it all started.
Amazing, fantastic. And I want you to take a look back to EDUTHON, the first edition of EDUTHON. How was it like? I would like to really form a visual image of that.
Yes, so that one was, it was very exciting because it was the first one. And we obviously were very apprehensive because हमने पहले नहीं किया था कभी. We were a little scared also कि हम करेंगे तो कितने लोग आएंगे, नहीं होगा, how it's going to go, this, that. We had no real exposure to these kind of events, but it went off pretty well, though it was a small event. and we got very good feedback, and that's it. And then the next one we try to make it bigger. We call Chetan Bhagat the next one. So that gave another scale altogether, and from then there on it has only been going upwards and higher.
So the reason I asked you for us to create this visual image of EDUTHON 1.0 was so that we can now, bring you back to the present situation, and we are looking forward to EDUTHON 5.0. How has this shift been? How have things changed from EDUTHON first edition to the fifth edition now?
So yes, to be very honest, like there are two poles apart, North Pole and South Pole. And in the first EDUTHON, we had maybe about 25 school leaders attending. This time we are aiming at 650. So there is no comparison of the scale.
Absolutely.
We have 200 teachers who are going to come in for the first time in the first half. We have master classes for the first time. We have 25-30 stalls which are going to be, all the edtech companies are going to exhibit the latest stuff on AI, mental health, wellness, etc., etc. And we have 3-minute performance by a Bharatnatyam dancer on stage who's come all the way from Dubai.
Wow.
And there are so many things happening which are beyond the scope of a normal educational event. And then there is an after party where the Indian cricket team of 1983, some of the members are going to come. And so the scale is unprecedented. And the other challenge was that when you do this kind of scale, your quality is compromised sometimes. But in our case, we have just made sure that the quality will not be compromised at any cost, even if the scale is 90% of the 80% of what we have envisaged. So to maintain the expansion with the quality was a big challenge.
Absolutely.
Especially as far as events are concerned, because events have a tendency that sometimes, the scale will be huge and people will be just floundering here and there, and they are not getting something to eat, and they don't know where to go, and everybody is confused. So we are very careful that that should not happen. The thing which TRINITi is known for, to do those super organized events, that must be underlying factor. Along with that, we have to reach that scale, which was a big challenge to manage both these things, which we are hoping that on this thing we will be able to
For sure, sir. I think you have said a very great thing here, that even if you are expanding something, creating something big, the basic moral values or the core values of a brand should not be put on stake at any point. I think very good point to learn for future entrepreneurs also.
Correct.
And this made me realize that EDUTHON has always been talking about very hot topics. This time it's AI meets humanity. How did you think of this idea? I mean, in a generation where people are, kind of almost escaping, or either being, I want to, use a word which would properly define being used by AI in a way. How do you create a balance, and how did this topic almost came into your mind?
Yeah, so this AI is of course the thing which is the buzzword these days. So we did think that we should do something around AI, but we didn't want to do the usual stuff. So we have a curation team, and we have 3 or 4 people who sit together, who do the curation, and Soumya Kulshrestha is one of our thinkers, along with 2-3 other people. And so we just thought together, and we kind of bounced forth a few things, and then we came out with this idea that AI meets humanity, because in this age of AI, there are the certain set of people who are totally into AI and totally into technology, and they feel that everything is AI. And then there are another set of people who are very afraid of these AI kind of people, and they feel that the human touch is going to be lost.
Absolutely.
Whereas actually the reality is probably somewhere midway.
Yes.
You have to embrace AI. At the same time, you don't have to lose your human touch also. So you have to learn new skills. At the same time, you don't, kind of ignore the human aspect of things. So I think that was the idea behind.
I think very relevant, because everywhere we went, we talked to people, everybody had this one word, very relevant.
Correct.
In today's time, and especially in the education system. where new changes are coming in, but the teachers are not from a very, welcoming this from a very
Yeah,
fresh
yeah.
perspective. So I think this transition, this smoothing, almost the sensitivity towards AI needs to be done, making sure that the schools don't lose the human
Okay,
touch.
okay, okay.
So very rightly said, sir. And if you were to, you know, tell us a little about who all is coming, and I think all of us are really excited to know a little about the guest speakers, or what can we expect in this year's Eduthon.
So yeah, that's also an interesting thing. So we have a lot of new people coming in terms of the fact one of the very famous celebrities who's coming in is Sandhya Mridul, the actress. She is going
Amazing.
to take a session on mental health, which is in the form of a fireside chat. And another person you might be aware of is Mr. Roshan Abbas,
Oh,
who's a creative guy, producer,
yes.
director, actor, RJ, etc., etc. And besides these two, we have Saroop Sampath Rawal, who had come last year also. She's the chairperson of the CBSE Life Skills Committee, ex-chairperson, actress, Miss India, this and that. We probably might have Mr. Jahan Kapoor, who's Shashi Kapoor's grandson, to take a master class, though that is not yet confirmed. And besides that, we are also got a verbal confirmation from the Secretary of School Education, Government of India, Mr. Sanjay Kumar ji, as a chief
Amazing.
guest. So we have got a quite a good lineup of speakers. We have a couple of schools coming from Ghana, South Africa, and one school coming from Abu Dhabi. So
Wow.
that is the some kind of a lineup. It gives you a sense of the kind of people who are going to be present in this year's
I
Eduthon.
think school leaders would really want to come for an event
Yeah,
like this, because learning for sure, but building connections at the same time, right?
absolutely.
I think there is no other place where you get to
Meet
meet
so
these,
many people, these
exactly,
kind, yeah.
be in such close proximity,
Of
learn from them, build contacts with them. I think this is something that nobody would like to miss, I
miss,
would
yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And coming to the most interesting part of it, it's a huge news that Eduthon 5.0 has been registered for India Book of Records.
Yes.
Would you like to tell us something about
Yeah,
that?
so that's a big achievement for us, and we took a risk also. So actually, because the scale was very big, somebody suggested that why don't we try to create a record of sorts, and we did contact the Guinness Book of Records, and but unfortunately, वहाँ पे हमारी बात हो नहीं पाई उनसे. But then finally, India Book of Records, we were able to speak through, and they said that we can come and consider this as a certain kind of a record, provided it meets certain criteria, and it met certain criteria. And now officially, so the official statement is that we are in the race to make this record, which will be made
Got
on the
it.
7th of
So we have made a
September. We
registration.
have made a registration, and there is a certain things to be followed,
Of course.
certain norms, and they'll obviously come and authenticate and validate whether actually how many people are present, this, that, blah, 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 whatever, X, Y, Z. But yes, we are in the race now. It's official. It's going to be released tomorrow, the post on our social media. We are officially in the race for the biggest ever event in the history of education in this particular segment. And probably, yes, by tomorrow it will be out all over the place.
Virtual party poppers. Because this is a huge news for us.
Yeah, it's a big
And
risk we had taken, because it
of
is also,
course.
when you claim that there's going to be so many people, then you obviously have to back it up with the actual data. So,
Absolutely.
but then we thought that, we are putting in a lot of effort, so we might just take a leap of faith. So this is more like a leap of faith we have taken, and hopefully it will come true on the 7th of September.
Definitely, all of us, like there are a lot of people, a huge team hoping for Eduthon success, and I'm sure it will be a grand success. So this brings me to the question that you were saying that Eduthon has come a long way. If you were to look back to the day when you started Trinity, how do you feel? Like what are the emotions that are coming up that um, you have brought Trinity to a certain level now? While you were talking about all the guests that are coming here, how do you feel emotionally?
Yeah, I feel very kind of satisfied now, and kind of also uh, happy in this way that the success has finally come in the form of EDUTHON, and that it's become a really really big event, and even the stakeholders are also happy. One of them is you and Anmol and so many others stakeholders, Rahul, Isha, and so many others, and they're all pretty much happy, and they are with us since so many years now. So yeah, but when I look back, yeah, it has been quite a struggle also. It's taken 22 years to reach where I have, and there have been ups and downs. There was a time when everything went for a six, and that was in 2010, and then we had to start all over again. Then 2016 again there was a recession, and again we had to change our business model. That is when we entered into the school space. And so we had to constantly reinvent ourselves and constantly learn at the same time. Only then we have been able to, at no point of time could we say कि यार बहुत हो गया, and now let's take back and sit back and all. So it has been a constant struggle and constant learning experience for us.
I think this has been a journey to hear this also. हमें लगता है कि सक्सेस बहुत, when we see the person successful, हमें लगता है कि wow, but we never look at the the back story of it. और जिस तरीके से आपने बताया कि to reinvent and relearn also,
correct.
Very beautifully summed up. And if we were to wrap this session up very very shortly, very crisp, in a very crisp way, तो आप क्या कहना चाहोगे हमारे सारे viewers को जब भी देख रहे हैं, या फिर जो leaders, educators who are really excited for EDUTHON 5.0, any takeaways that that they might expect, or anything that they should be prepared for?
Yeah, so I think I'm promising a lot of fun, a lot of excitement besides the learning. So normally educational events would be more of learning. Here it would be learning combined with fun, excitement, a lot of new ideas, and a lot of innovative things happening.
Absolutely.
A lot of innovative leaders who will be present, and you will be one-to-one. You will be in close proximity, as you said. So this is one event where you will be one-to-one with a lot of big thought leaders across the globe, and you will get a chance to speak to them on a one-to-one basis.
Amazing. So I think I have gotten a lot of energy सिर्फ बात करके ही सर से, because अब हम एक पूरा विजुअल क्रिएट कर पा रहे हैं कि कहाँ से ट्रिनिटी स्टार्ट हुआ, कहाँ से EDUTHON स्टार्ट हुआ, and now where it is now. Looking forward to EDUTHON 5.0, India Book of Records, all the celebrities there, lots of fun, and can't wait. Already excited. I think so is sir.
And I am also excited, yeah.
So without any further ado, let's get ourselves registered if you have not. So it's 7th September.
Yeah.
Right? 7th September it is, and let's all be ready for that.
JW Marriott is
JW Marriott is the venue, and hoping to see you all there. And I think our learning from today's podcast is to always rethink, learn, to never give up, and use your skill set in the best possible way to create what you really want to do. I'm sure it was a learning for you as it was for me, and I'm really looking forward to meeting all of you, and so is sir, right? So I'll see you in the next episode of Mentally Yours, presented by Mehfooz by Simran, co-presented by EDUTHON. Till then, take care of your mental health the way you take care of your physical health.